Yo, 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 my people, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? It is Jason Gooner. We're back in the studio, people, and it is time for another episode of Reasoning Time, people. Today, we're going to reason our whole reasoning about the Jamaica Reggae Girls. Yes, we have the recap show of their recent window where they faced the three Lionesses in Leicester. And yes, we're going to talk all about the game, analyze the game as well. I have the tactical pad set up, going to show you what I thought were some of the major issues in the game. And we're going to try to figure out were there any positives to take. You know, I have positives and negatives. Going to try to figure out if there were any positives to take. I'm going to go through this in a chronological order. So what we'll do is we'll start the show with the press conference talking about the game, right? We'll discuss that, hear what the coach had to say, discuss his comments, and yeah, we'll move into the actual game itself. That's when I will break it down tactically, what I saw from my point of view. And you see in the title as well, I have more questions than answers. And the reason why I say that is, you know, we have played quite a few windows. We have decided to, well, not decided, but we have gotten the opportunity to play some very, very good teams in the women's game. You know, I think the last four opponents have all been top 10 teams, or you know, some of the last four opponents, the likes of Brazil, the likes of France, I think just outside the top 10 now, maybe 10 or 11. Then you have USA, you have England, top four teams in the world. So, you know, it's been quite a rough stretch. And then the team that we played in CONCACAF that I think is one of the most improved teams in world football in women, the Mexican team, we did not handle that well at all. So, you know, it's a situation very similar to with the Reggae Boys people because I find myself wondering, you know, who is really more to blame here? Is it the players or is it the coach? But I'm going to show you guys tactically why I think, you know, it's pretty much a byproduct of some of the tactics that I've seen deployed against some of these teams that are so-called better than us. I don't really see us doing enough to bridge that gap in terms of tactically. You know, obviously there's two things when a team is so-called better than you, right? That you can do to, um, you know, stay in the game, get a result. You know, one of those things obviously is tremendous work on and off the ball particularly, right? And the second thing to me is tactically, what do you bring to the table to slow down the other team, right? And what do you bring to the table to at least make yourself somewhat of a threat when you do win the ball? And I don't see these things occurring right now with the Reggae Girls team. So we're going to break down all of that, people. But in the meantime, you don't know this is a YouTube platform. So please like, share, and subscribe. That's the main thing you can do. Of course, you can drop comments in the form of a super chat also. And we're up to quite a few members thanks to iMaxit Football, WeMaxit. Did give some memberships to the channel. So the membership's looking nice, people. We're up quite a bit. So anybody else that would like to join, just locate that join button. It should be in the description. It's $1.99 a month, people. So please consider becoming a member of Jason Gooner TV. If you are new to the channel, just drop a subscription, become a part of the conversation. You know, this show is always going to be about football, and we just don't know which football we're going to be talking about because we do not discriminate when it comes down to football. We watch all football, people. So today, though, we're going to focus on the Reggae Girls and what's to look forward to for them moving forward. We know that in October they will be getting into their World Cup qualification. That draw should be coming up soon as well. And we anxiously await the group that we get because right now I feel like yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one for us for sure. It's going to be a tough one for us because right now I don't see where it's gonna come from. I don't like what I'm seeing. And like I said earlier, I am going to get into all of that once we start to break down the England game. So people, as Kimo in the comment section is saying right now, hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Get us the target for this video for sure is at least 50 likes. And then based on how the people them start find the video and turn up, then we'll see if we can set another target. All right, but at least people the 50 likes. Come on. Big up Conrad in the building. Big up El Meeks in the building. Chorus in the building as well. Big up yourself. I had one. The oracle when it comes on to these females, you know. Big up. We need a family name like Navy or Swifties. Wait a So we need to forward with some kind of name for the supporters of Jason Gooner TV. I like that. One, big up yourself, you know. Yeah, man. Thanks for checking in, my bro. We're gonna discuss the females today, one. Are we ranked high and seeded for a good draw? Well, that is a good question, one, and I'm actually going to the information right now. I'm just gonna put it on the screen so you guys could see. So let me share this on the screen, people. So Kimo say, yo, don't shortchange yourself, Jay. 100 likes. All right, Kimo, I agree. All right, so this is the qualification for the World Cup, the Women's World Cup 2027. As you can see, it's going to be something else. Okay, 2027 Women's World Cup. Okay, 31 teams joining the host, Brazil. All right, so Brazil are the hosts. Now let's look at all the confederations. So Asia will get 6 slots and 2 playoff slots, right? Their qualification already started this past window, 23rd of June. Then you have Africa. Theirs will start February 2025, so it has started already. CONCACAF not started as yet. So CONCACAF and Africa have the same amount, 4 direct, and then the possibility of 2 more, so you can get up to 6. Of course, the World Cup is 32 teams. They have 8 groups of 4. And ours get started October 2025 and will end November 2026. So a total of that time frame to get to this World Cup. Now, when you look at the tournament, let me see, CONCACAF. All right, so the W Championship serves as the qualifying competition to determine the North American, Central American, and Caribbean representatives at the Women's World Cup. Qualifying process is a qualifying stage. Nations will be drawn into 6 groups of no more than 5 teams each to play 4 matches during the international windows in October and November, December 2025, and February, March, and April 2026 to determine the 6 teams advancing to join the top 2 teams in the CONCACAF Women's ranking for the final tournament. So we know, people, that USA and Canada will be already advanced to this W Championships, where it will be an 8-team tournament, right? So the final tournament, as it says here, 8 nations will compete in a single elimination knockout tournament in November 2026. The 4 quarterfinal winners will qualify directly. So basically, people, what it's looking like, right? Let me see if I can find it. So let's go to CONCACAF, people. So if you're not familiar, this is what it's going to look like. So you call these October, November, February, April. You call that the W Championship windows or qualifiers, right? So there will be 4 windows. We'll play 4 matches. It will be just like what we did with Jamaica, you know, where we had to play Dominica, Damrep, Guatemala, and British Virgin Islands. It will be something similar to that. Then you have to top the group to make it to this tournament. So that's the main difference between what we did with the Reggae Boys, people. We will have to top this first group by the end of April to get into this tournament. And it sounds as if as long as we can win one game at this WA Championship in November, just win the first game, then we'll make it to the semifinals, and all 4 semifinalists make it to the Women's World Cup, right? Now, if we lose that first game, we'll have the opportunity to win a game, and that will be considered the playing game to see if we go to the playoffs, the intercontinental playoffs, right? So get to the WA Championship, which will be in November, by virtue of winning the group that we get when we have this draw. I believe we're going to hear today in the press conference when the draw will take place, what month and everything, because I remember Simon talking about it. But let's see if we get any information regarding. Okay, so here's the qualifiers, people. This is what one was asking about with the rankings. So the 2025-2026 CONCACAF W qualifiers will serve as the preliminary round of the 2026 CONCACAF W Championship, which I just explained, and consists of a single round to be played during the FIFA Women's International match windows of October and November 2025 and February and April 2026. For these qualifiers, which will not include the region's top 2 ranked nations according to the CONCACAF Women's Rankings. So that's something else to note, people. In the Reggae Boys qualification, they were using FIFA rankings, but it looks like they'll be working with the CONCACAF Women's Rankings, which typically will overlap. I mean, if you're 2 in CONCACAF Women's Rankings, more than likely on the FIFA list, you're the second ranked CONCACAF team. It pretty much, I don't think there's many situations where it's not the same, especially when you're talking about the higher ranked teams that will be taking part in this. CONCACAF Member Association is split into 6 groups, following group stage play where each team will play a maximum of 4 matches, 2 home and 2 away. The 6 group winners will advance. Okay, perfect. All right, first of the 3. So it will also be a qualifier for the 2028 LA Summer Olympics. All right. Competition will begin quarterfinals, followed by a play-in semifinals. Okay, so yeah, the play-in is what we would play if we lost that first game. If we win the play-in, we at least go to the intercontinental playoffs for the World Cup. But of course, the goal is to win the quarterfinals game, be one of the 4 semifinalists, and you're good to go. To determine the quarterfinal pairings and each team's path to the final, CONCACAF will rank teams 1 to 8, with the highest ranked team facing the lowest ranked team. So yeah, so 1 you would think would be USA, 2 will be Canada. So if you're Jamaica, you want to ensure that you're not 7 or 8. You don't drop so far that you're 7th or 8th in this ranking. Right as of right now, I would think Mexico is 3. But we don't have to guess. We can just click on this right here. Women's national team rankings. So we have USA, big lead over Canada. Costa Rica 3rd. Actually, wow, Costa Rica is above Mexico. That's mad. All right, so right as of right now, you see what it would look like, people, if it was to be ranked just like this. We would play Mexico in that first game. We saw how that went the other day. Hopefully in October we have a better, we have the more, I guess you'd say, the more frontline players all playing due to the severity of it. But of course, that's a long way to go. We have to get through the qualifiers first, make sure we top the group. But yeah, 5 Jamaica, 6 Panama, 7 Haiti. So that's, if they face Canada in that first game, if this is the rankings, then that would be interesting, because that would be a tough matchup for Canada in the first game. El Salvador, they have Trinidad and Tobago, Rep, Puerto Rico, Guyana, Cuba, Bermuda, Belize, Guatemala. So these will be the teams making up our zone, because they'll put the teams into pots starting from here. So we'd have Costa Rica, Mexico, Jamaica, Panama. It's probably going to be 6 groups of 5 teams. How many countries? There's 32. Yes, I'm not sure how they're really going to split it up, but I know it will be 6 group winners. So 6 groups. So probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That will be part 1. And then you go down each time is part 2, part 3. So we'll get one of these teams from Trinidad to say Bermuda, right? And then we'll get one of these teams from Belize down to Curacao, and so on and so forth. So if you remember how the Reggae Boys qualifying went, that's basically what it will be. Yeah, so this is the rankings as of March 11, which obviously they'll be just adjusted again. But yeah, right now we're 5th. A decent sized lead over Panama and Haiti for now, but I think that gap will get tighter when the next when the next rankings come out. All right, so that is that. But here is the W Championship. As I said, will be a qualifier for both the World Cup in Brazil in 2027 and the 2028 LA Summer Olympics as well. It would be nice to see Jamaica playing in that on the women's side. Yeah, so they have a lot going on. I'm introducing the Nations League and everything. Look like the 2 finalists alone make it to the Summer Olympics. All right, so that is it for that. Just wanted to give you guys an update on that. And like I said, we will be discussing when that draw will take place so that we make sure we don't miss that. But let's see. I think it was largely positive. I felt strong positivity, strength training, a new coach, more matches with the core. Okay. It can't include Gooner or will alienate all non-Arsenal fans. Have to build a name around Jason. True. Can't alienate the people. The Voorhees. 1-1. Yeah, no, say 1-1 love to beat up people, man. Even though that is a very, very famous Jason. So I think everybody would know that reference. I think it's time to move on from certain mainstay players. Interesting, El Mix. JFF sing a song can beg Lon Donaldson to return, don't it? As Lauren, I think Lauren out of work now because Chicago let him go. So I don't know. I don't know if he's back kind of in his back to what he loves to do, back in Colorado side developing. It'd be cool to figure out what he's up to now. Link it, maybe try to get a link for him. Bless up Odell Wagwan. Hope all is well, Mr. Low in the building. I think we can drop all core players who weren't in this window except Bonnie, Becky, Drew. Drew can move to the bench now, and Sydney. But I don't know if Drew moving to my bench now. Yeah, we are 5, I think it was. Greetings, the girls them steak. Oh, what a name. I like Voorhees. All right. So all right, anything was stick, I mean it organically build, So we'll see if it stick. Bring back Lauren and Sidella. So I say Lauren alone won't help the situation. We need both. Did Busby beat the allegation charges? I am wondering if it's affecting his visa to many countries. Odello, I have tried to ask about that, and all I have gotten is personal reasons. So every time we go to America, if there's a next personal reason, then boy, I don't know. You don't know. One say I like Jade Bailey. I think that's her name, but she get microwave minutes. She's good at passing the football. Yeah, one. I was surprised. And actually, it's funny you bring this up. That's one of my talking points when I talk about positives and negatives. Like the coach to me looks very similar to with McLaren, trying to make Jamaica play a bit more progressive, try to pass the ball a bit more. Obviously, we're not seeing it a lot because I think the opposition is just pressuring us to the point where we can't do anything. But I feel like he has players in his squad that he doesn't play when he picks them, and I'm like, but this person, from what I've seen, is very that would be their play style. Like they want to get on the ball, pass the ball, you know. So I don't know. It don't really make much sense. Some of the personnel decisions sometimes. He's been missing matches in the USA. Yep. Yes, Jade is good. Tiffany Cameron have to do better at right back. She was getting killed last game. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that as well because I don't love that she has just become that has become what she is. You know, if you're not gonna pick her as an attacker, me personally, I don't think she should be in the team. I don't think she's a good right back. And it's not her fault. I just don't think she's good at it. Juan Donaldson. I don't think Jade club minutes are up. Maybe they're playing her in, like they're playing Kiki in. He kept Kiki too long. He kept Kiki too long in this fixture on the pitch. Some areas of the squad need addressing. Yep, we're going to discuss that as well. We're passing the ball out the back with players we are starting is suicidal. Exactly, father. Us trying to play a certain way, and then even having players in the team that could provide that outlet better than some of the players we put in here on the team, it don't make sense to me. Does Busby even know his best 11? That's a very good question. It's a very good question. All right. So speaking of Busby people, like I said, I want to go through chronologically, you know, how this window went. So the first thing that kind of announced the window to us would have been the pre-match press conference. So I'm going to pull up that audio, and we're going to listen to it. We didn't really get a very good video for that one, so I'm just going to play the audio form, and you know, if need be, I will pause and we discuss. I will keep tracking in the comment section. People, remember, don't forget to keep hitting the like button. It is imperative that you do so. It's just the best way for us to get the support out there to the video and make sure that it's getting the push that it's supposed to get. All right. So let me find the clip. I have it here. And you guys just drop a thumbs up in the comment section when you hear the audio, just to let me know that it is loud and clear. All right. So this is the press conference ahead of the friendly with England. Ads people to get the revenue. All right. So this is it.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, depending on the time zone that you're in. Welcome to the pre-match press conference for the Reggae Girlz against England for an international. This will be the first time that both teams will be facing each other in senior international women's football. Kickoff is 11 a.m. Jamaica time for the game, so that's 5 p.m. UK.
Respect, Conrad.
Before we go into everything, just want to make everybody clear that Jamaica Football Federation's official YouTube channel, JFF Live, the game will be shown for official members only. We're joined with the head coach of Jamaica Senior Women's National Team, Coach Hubert Busby, who will provide some opening remarks, and then after that, we'll open the floor for questions for members of the media. So, Coach, over to you. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, Simon. Okay. Thanks, Simon. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here today. Match day -1. Really looking forward to the
Yo, people, Simon, when you hear that sound there, could I see, yo, the man look, you can see him upset, bro. Whoever made that sound there a while ago, it was not the best. All right, listen.
Tomorrow. Firstly, just want to say, you know, we've had a good couple of days. Most of the players arrived on Monday, so we're able to get to training on Tuesday. As you can know, with the different periodizations, plans for the players coming off of a long European season, for those who were able to come in and play and different flights. I think by Wednesday, we'll all kind of settle down with the jet lag and time change. So hopefully everybody's all right. One or two little nuts and stomach viruses, but everything else, for the most part, everyone has experienced. English FA has been fantastic hosts. We've been at St. George's Park. Obviously, everyone knows that facility, knows how, what a great facility that is. So overall, everything's been wonderful so far, and I know that the group is looking forward to the match tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Coach. So, members of the media, this is your opportunity now. Please use the raise hand icon. And once you're indicated, then you can be able to pose your question to Coach Busby. So, we now open the floor.
Facts, Conrad, facts. That's true. Whenever it was a bad timing for me start. This whole window, the timing was off, man. I was busy for everything. Me even forwarding this press conference, I asked back a question. Very, very disappointed. Amateur hour, you know?
Afternoon, Jordan James from Backpage Football. Afternoon, Simon. Great to be with you, Coach. Two questions from me. Firstly, the Midlands is home to the second largest Jamaican community in the UK after London. We saw some great support for the Reggae Boys for the recent Unity Cup. How important is it for Jamaican fans to come out in large numbers tomorrow? Yeah, I think it'd be great to obviously have our supporters in our stands. Obviously, we'll still be this sort of minority group. We'll know the main.
Yeah, I had one around low.
Be in full support. But yeah, I think for all the Jamaican supporters and West Indian supporters who want to come out and come and take in the match will be great. But we know our diaspora. We know we're passionate fans. We know we saw the group that was in London as well that came out for the Unity Cup, came out in full force and boisterous and really got behind the team. So yeah, it'd be great to have that same sort of support tomorrow at the match. Thank you, Coach. And the second question, can you confirm whether this will be the final friendly match for the Reggae Girlz in 2025, or are there more fixtures expected before the year's end?
Good question.
It will be official last fixture, simply because of the FIFA windows don't allow. I think we're trying to work on a few things outside of the windows with possibly a hybrid group of players who are, whether they're kind of a U20, U23 players that we want to take a look at to kind of finalize a roster heading into the World Cup qualifiers, but that is still to be confirmed. But as an official match, then this will be the last match before October. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
So there you hear, as I said, we have the October matches, the November matches, and then we have what? March and April of next year. And all of that will be crucial windows, games that mean something, World Cup qualifier games, basically. They're the W qualifiers, but yes, it's World Cup qualifiers. So I thought that was a good question because a lot of these female teams, some of them gone after the Euros, obviously, that don't really affect Jamaica. But at the same time, you have these teams that kept on playing in the same window. And it's been a few windows now where Jamaica has had the chance to play 2 games, but we're playing 1 game in the window. The USA game, while it was, we were basically a fill-in for another team. And this England game, they needed just that 1 fixture before they head off to their competition, and they chose to play us. But the thing with me, right? I think it's imperative right now that we just get games, because we need to get used to. I need to figure out, right? I wonder if the windows coming up is just 1 game per window, because we keep doing these 1 game. Now we did Mexico, we did play twice. Brazil, we did play twice. South Africa, we did play twice. But the last few have been the 1 game, which has been surprising. So I like that the guy asked, is this it? Because you really don't have no other chance to play a friendly until the next game, which is World Cup qualifiers. So this guy from Backpage Football, I really love the name, but basically that's a good question, I thought, because if I am Busby, and even the way he answered, he said, well, we're going to try to get some opportunities outside the windows, because it's going to be difficult with the way the windows are set up coming up moving forward. So and he said hybrid teams, U23, U20 options. I think when you look at this squad that we're currently using, to me, it's like hybrid teams too, in terms of U23, U20 options mixed in with senior players, right? So I don't know. I don't know if you realize this, but you have been picking teams like this already. You don't need to wait until outside windows to do it. You're doing it now, you know, because he's gone very youthful, um, for the most part. For the most part.
Jordan, much appreciated. Let's go to Gregory Bryce, the Jamaica Gleaner. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
man,
Bryce.
watch it, man.
Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach Wesley. Just two questions I wanted to ask. The first one, I'm not sure if I missed it, but I'm seeing some faces in the camps that I think were not in the first squad that was released. Mainly Ramon Wellington and Clark Hall, if I'm losing it correctly. Are these players integrated and expected to play in the England match, or is the case where they're just training the team and getting used to the program?
Yeah, it's a great question and a great observation from yourself. No, these are our English-based players who are coming through the system, through the U20, sort of program that, prospects that it allowed for us this opportunity to bring them in, allow this opportunity to, find out a little bit more in terms of our playing model, get to know some of the senior women, and also get to know what it means to be a senior ready girl. And I think it's really important that, some of these prospects that were available, we thought it was a great idea to come in to train with the senior women. They've done very well, not just to make up the numbers, but, see how they integrate into the larger group and to a larger extent increase our pool of players. And they've had a great week of training. They won't be involved in the match tomorrow, but it was just a really good opportunity to integrate some young players into the program.
And a follow-up question on that, regarding new faces. You spoke about a lot of opportunities for new faces to really get a chance against some opponents with the absence of the more experienced players. Based on what you've seen in training so far with these girls, what are you expecting from the game tomorrow against England? Is it a case where you hope for it to be competitive, or just rather another experience learning game?
Yeah, it's going to be both. I mean, we have to be competitive. I mean, we're the Jamaican women's national team, and we have pride, and we want to go out there and show the world exactly who we are and what we're about. And the players have expressed that within their group, and we used to talk about whoever loses, we know playing a reigning European champions and fourth best team in the world. But we're looking forward to the match, and obviously, how the match goes will depend on the substitutes or players that we look to integrate into the game. But that is a major factor and one of the things that we do want to be conscious of. But obviously the game will dictate whether or not that happens for sure.
Thank you, Gregory.
So the man saying want to be competitive for sure, and the game will dictate whether they can do so. But people, I'm telling you, I didn't see competitiveness not in terms of just the girls trying, because they always try, right? I never see them really giving up. But I mean, just the way that they were able to carve us open in every which way. I mean, come on, you got to be able to do something to stem the tide. You got to be able to take something away. And that's just my issue with what I saw in that game. We didn't really take away anything that England were trying, like nothing. And that to me is not acceptable. Jason, normally when you play a top ranked team, you expect to learn, but when you're getting beat by 7, by 4, and lost to Mexico twice, are they learning or getting beat up? It can make them lose confidence. Yeah, for sure. It's a line there, because you want to challenge the team. I mean, you don't want it to be every time you're playing, you just know, okay, turn up. We don't even have to play that well. We just have to run over our team and we'll get the victory. And you don't want to feel like every time you're playing, you're getting 6 and 7 either. But I feel like while we are playing some teams that are better than us, that is a fact. There's a reason why at the World Cup, we played teams just as good with more on the line, and we're able to get results. Nil all. People were upset that we're not scoring goals, we're not doing anything. But I think you people need to understand that there is a gap in the quality of the two teams, and how you stay in a game is you set up yourself to have a chance to stay in the game. Simple as, simple as. Um, and we have examples of that right throughout world football, which I'm going to reference when we talk about tactics. Bless up, Chile, Wagwan, Jano Star. As soon as we start praise your side, them go home. Other viewers, Rob Smith, I'm curious. Why were you not interested in the Reggae Girlz match? Bless up, George Smith. Rob, I have a question for you. It's strange that the Liverpool girl was in the team for the England game. I really don't think she wants to continue playing for us. Boy, Derek G, I don't want to speculate, So I tried to get some info on that before I went to live today, but those proved futile attempts. I think she has a lot going on personally, because she just put out her thing, thanking Liverpool for what the club has given to her, all the experiences she had with them. I have on the impression that she's going to my team now, but I haven't seen anything official, so I don't want to jinx it. The girls them need some friendly against some teams on our level to get back some confidence and seeing the ball go in the back of the net. They haven't scored a goal since about January. Well, Lo, based on the CONCACAF World Cup group that we'll get, we'll avoid pretty much all the teams that I think we would go into the game worried about losing. Not worried about losing, but games that we can get beaten. If we don't turn up at all, we're gonna get beaten. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these teams, the Guatemalas, those lower ranked teams in CONCACAF, on their day they can cause a problem as well. But I think our physicality typically is enough to kind of stem the tide against those teams. But I don't want to rely on that. I want us to be playing better football. But my hope is when they get into these qualifiers, usually CONCACAF will set it in a way where we're playing the most difficult potential team by rankings last, right? So we'll have some games against some of the weaker opponents first. So hopefully that can build back some confidence, I'm hoping. ASAP, if we are honest, he shouldn't have been hired. We don't need to discuss. We'll get a coach with presence. Impressor's burden is more certain. Pun intended. I like that one. You don't have the right group of players, says Deco. Okay. Guna, tell him and them do the right thing and pick the teams properly. Bro, that's the number one thing. Pick the damn teams properly. And I mean, obviously that is and like everybody gonna pick the same team. But we shouldn't have like a scenario where like who will leap at the player them, everybody has said, John, how that person reach there, You don't know how to set up the team like that. That's harsh. I beat Leah a ton, but I think she did good, far better than normal. Yeah, man, Leah impressed me, man. I was very worried about the keepers before the game. But Leah, she did really well. I think the experiences that she had in some of the other games where Becky was out against these top teams really helped her. Like playing USA the other day and this one, really, really helped. I mean, yes, she conceded 7, but if you watch that game, people, it could have been easily like 12, 13, 14. So she made a lot of saves, a lot of good saves too. Also, Wilshire seems to have disappeared from the team. Well, El Meeks, I was very surprised when I saw her in the soccer tournament, the women's bracket. She was playing with I think it was Hope Solo team. Her and Kanya Plummer and Shayna Matthews, right? They were all on that team. So yeah, I was very surprised when I saw her, and I saw her with her family. So I know she left the game to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? And maybe she's just not ready to get back into that full-time grind. I don't know for sure, but I thought it was promising that we saw her playing that soccer tournament, because that's how the bug really comes back to you, that itch to play. Like you have to go on the field and play and be in a team and getting that atmosphere of trying to win a game and the competitiveness. Maybe that ignites something in her. You never know. The girls are big stage players. I don't mind that. Showing up when it counts. Show up when it counts. Yeah, hopefully. And why are we playing all these big teams so soon? I think they hung their hat too high too fast. We should be playing the small team in the CONCACAF first and then move on to the better team. We just rush. Well, Deco, I think sometimes, you know, when you're not in a position of power in terms of bargaining to play games, you take what you can get, you know. And I'm going to continue to play the press conference, you know, because it's a lamb to slaughter. I understand high quality friendly, but the World Cup gave us a false sense of confidence. We are nowhere near that level. I had one say she still think the experience more important. So Taylor has signed for Arsenal. Okay, well, you know, I'm an Arsenal fan. And the way my club operate, people, the way my club operate, if me no see the thing them on the damn website, I don't think it happened yet. I've yet to see Taylor on the Arsenal site. When I get my Arsenal email to check the site. So I'm gonna work with that. But I agree. I've heard from numerous outlets that she, you know, will be an Arsenal player. So not saying you're wrong, you know. I'm just saying why I have phrased it the way I have, because as an Arsenal supporter, trust me, I know say you have to just move cautious. You have to move cautious, people. If I play all the matches, yeah, so I go through the news on the side, people. Alright, wait, hold on, let me keep going. Maybe it's yeah, so I know I've heard too. We couldn't pick the best 11 because they aren't available, says I had one. One Becky, the best keeper ever, Reggae Girlz have. She's top. Did we have any visa issues? Seem like a few regular didn't go. You know, Rob, I
Much appreciated.
let me
Let's
see.
hear from Vicky Sparks. Good afternoon, Vicky.
Vicky Sparks.
I think you're muted, Vicky, but you can go ahead.
Just my laptop decided to die at a precise moment. But thank you, Simon. Thank you so much, Coach, as well, for taking the time to talk to us. So, yeah, I'm Vicky. I work with the BBC in England. We'll be doing radio commentary of the game tomorrow. A couple of questions from me. Really interested in terms of what you see as the key tactically for you to try and get a result and a good performance against England tomorrow, taking into account their strengths. And what's the key for you tactically in terms of how you approach the game? How do you see that?
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, Vicky. I mean, first of all, we won't give up all our secrets here today, but one of the things we definitely need to be aware of, they're so dynamic in attack, and they're a good team that looks to move the ball well. So, we have to be organized, we have to be compact, and limit the spaces between the lines for them to play and get at us. But and also when we do have an opportunity, obviously look to threaten them with our power and pace as well. So I'm pretty sure they're wary of that. I believe, Coach Sarah alluded to that as well, that, they know we'll pose a few problems to them if they don't do what they need to do. But I think it's really about us making sure that we're really good and we're organized. And when we are, we've got to be, better than we have been the last couple of matches in both boxes, in our box and being critical in the opposition box. So, yeah, we need to be organized tomorrow. And obviously, from there, we'll see where we can take our opportunities, on the counter if need be as well.
Over 40 and think a second job is a solution?
Yeah, bueno. Sure.
And obviously, there's a lot of WSL interest in terms of Jamaican players. We know Khadija Shaw very well, the likes of Drew Spence and Becky Spencer, who played in the league for such a long time. I understand that they're not available because of managing workloads and heading into the World Cup qualifiers. Just talk us through the thinking behind that and, how you have to balance those sort of demands as a manager.
Yeah, it's funny. We were discussing it again this morning at breakfast, you know, and making sure that above everything else, you know, the player well-being and safety, and to make sure that they're in the right mind frame after such a long season. I mean, you know, that's really what we're focusing on. We want to make sure that they're right. You know, within 2 weeks, some of them are reporting right back to preseason again. And to make sure that we have these players in October, we have to listen to them first and foremost. And we've done a really good job in working with the clubs to work with them. I think obviously if this is, you know, qualifying match would be different, they'll all be in. But we really want to manage their workload. We really want to make sure in the right mental frame of mind that they come in, that they're healthy mentally and physically to represent their country. So it is a challenge, but the challenge becomes other opportunities for other players now to come in and stake a claim, and that's been sort of the message of this week. You know, it's like, let's continue to increase the pool, make it more competitive. We talk about wanting to be one of the top 3 teams in our region, and you only do that by increasing the player pool and making competition for places each and every camp, and making decisions for coaches very, very difficult. And that's all you can ask for. And I'm glad that, you know, we've been able to see some new players emerge in these last few games against a really tough opposition. And as I alluded to before, some of the things you don't necessarily see in games, you know, all the biggest learnings and feedback and intake we get has been in a week of training to see how players sort of react and you know, carry out that match plan. So it is challenging, but, you know, like I said, we have to do the best for the players in mind that they have a very hectic season coming up. And we have a very hectic World Cup qualifying coming up in the fall as well.
That's great. Thank you so much. Best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vicky. Let's now go over to America now. Jason Walker. Go ahead, Jason.
Thank you very much, Simon. Good afternoon, everybody. Considering, speaking of opportunities that we just spoke about, considering, you know, some of our more famous names won't be playing tomorrow, and considering how England plays, who should we be looking at in terms of counteracting England's style of play?
Well, I think
on the Jamaica squad.
Yeah, I mean, I won't tip my hat just yet because obviously we haven't been able to give out too much. As you can allude, I would love to. Trust me, I would love to be able to play.
Why the man turn on him camera and film in a room?
Tune in like the rest of everybody else. But I would say it's really about some of those players being a little more consistent. A lot of the players that you've probably seen in the last few matches, it's about building on those performances. So. And us building on those performances as a unit, as a group, not so much as individuals, but in terms of our units. Because defending, you know, again, you know, we kind of spoke about, you know, maybe against the US, I think 7 individual errors and 4 of them resulted in goals. And that's what happens when you're dealing against the top 5 teams in the world. The margins for error are so small, and so we can minimize those moments. And that's not to say for 89 minutes, some of those players have played really, really well for us. But we have to cut out those little individual mistakes at the inopportune times that lead to goals being conceded. And then when we are in possession, we have to be better in it. We have to retain the ball a bit more, and we have to be a little more threatening going forward. So, you know, those are all the things that we've kind of worked on this week. As I said before, being better in both boxes and making sure that we minimize mistakes, you know, as much as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason. Members of the media, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and also to Coach Busby as well. This recording will be shared with the media quite shortly. To everybody, hope you have a pleasant rest of the day. And just a reminder once again that the match can be seen on JFF Live's YouTube channel.
I test never lie. I had one and Deco having a spirited discussion. We like that. We conceded 20 goals and scored 0 in the last 5 games. Any normal country football federation, everyone would be under scrutiny and some immediate changes would have happened, either coach or players. Well, I think the prevailing narrative with this Reggae Girlz team right now, based on these games we just played, is it's the opposition, it's the opposition, it's the opposition. I would argue that it has been more than that, right? So I think it hasn't been helpful that we have had 2 windows before this one in America, and we can't have the head who's supposed to be the head coach actually there. That's been a huge distraction and a problem, right? We've put Dan Burton in the deep end, and we can't really beat Dan Burton because we know that it's not fully Dan Burton's philosophy at use. You know, he's working for the coach, and has to take a bigger role because the coach can't be there, right? So that I don't think that has helped at all. Another thing that's an issue is pretty much our most renowned, our most decorated player hasn't been able to play for us for the better part of a year, right? That hasn't helped things either. And I know it's just one player, but when it's Bonnie Shaw in a Jamaica team that, if you look at, how we have, progressed to World Cups, and especially like the early part of the qualifiers, like what's coming up now, if you look at Bonnie Shaw's goals through that whole process, it's ridiculous. So I don't think those things have helped. And I think that, coupled with maybe a bit of naivety on the part of the coaching staff, that's what I will call it, because the way how they approach some of these teams, it don't make sense to me at all. Right? So look, let's get to what I like to talk about the most, people, and that is the tactics of everything. So I have the tactical pad set up, and I have the teams on the screen the way they were set up tactically. And I just want to demonstrate and show some of the reasons why I think this coach is failing us in certain aspects when it comes on to setting up the team to be able to stay in the football match. All right. So let me get the tactical pad on the screen. While I'm doing that, people, just a reminder, smash the like button. Do not forget to smash the like button. We should be at least well past the 50 now, and heading towards the 100. That is the target. I said 50. Kimo said, yo, where are the 100? So I said 100 likes, people. So stop what you're doing. Please smash that like button. So this is the tactical pad, people. This was how the teams were set up. On Jamaica side, you have our third string keeper, like I had one was saying, Leah Brooks. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Might be a little small for you guys. So let me make the players a little bit bigger. So yeah, you guys can see it a little bit better there. So that was how Jamaica basically came out in the game. A 4-4-2. Adam Aloken up front with McKenna. Now, McKenna was typically the one that was a little bit closer to their goal, but at times they basically stayed on that same line, pressed typically in a 4-4-2 setup. And that's one of the first things I want to highlight about the tactics that I thought didn't make much sense. I'm gonna show you from phase to phase why Jamaica had so much trouble with England in this game. I think tactically, the way we were set up, it was never going to be enough. I mean, it's already the quality gap. There's some better players overall, but when you factor in as well that the tactics and tactically we were so loose as a team, we didn't make life any easier for our goalkeeper or our defense or anybody on the field for that matter. Bless up, Dre. Hope all is well. Need changes, said Grimy. Yeah, that is true. My biggest concern is that we're playing all these friendlies, but most of our main players are absent, so we're not even building team chemistry. Yeah, Chile, I think it's been weird because each window is always like a group of players not there. This past one, it was like some of the veterans from the first World Cup, like from Jamaica. So like Kanya Plummer, then Jody Brown. None of those players were around. Even though she's a little bit more on the fringes. What's my girl name? Short girl, Trudy Carter. We didn't see any of those players. We had seen Buckley and all these teams. She wasn't in this one. So, it's a good point Rob made about the visa. Was it because it was all those girls who didn't come? So was it really that kind of issue? that wasn't really asked straight up. Typically, how this thing works, when I do a video like this and people start to watch it, people will reach out to me and give me information. If I have anything that's not filled in here, people will send it to me now after the fact. So maybe as I'm talking about it, I might hear something more about it in the next couple of days. There's nothing to learn from these ass whooping. The coach can't travel to USA. It is simple. Yeah. I don't think there's much going around that. It's pretty obvious at this point, bro. The thing that I don't understand is that I see some of senior players make some mistake over and over to the point where I was wondering if we are regressing. Yeah, so I had one. I must say, toss the coach and iron out things. I sometimes wonder if some players miss because of the coach. That's a good thing. That's a good thought there. Is it really the coach? Why them not even what happened to the Liverpool striker? We should have her in the team more. You mean the Newcastle striker? Yeah, I was surprised Hales wasn't there because Hales been coming to some of the friendlies. She was in the USA team the other day, but she didn't come to this one. I saw her on the gram. It looks like our team gone to preseason already, so they're getting ready for the season. How could you identify any tactics in these games? Of course you could, Rob. We didn't do anything to stop them. There was a reason for that, It's not, yes, England is good, but it's not because England is this great, incredible team why that happened. We see England play Haiti, and Haiti not doing that. England not doing that to Haiti. We see them play Nigeria, they're not doing that to Nigeria. So why it have to happen to Jamaica? There's a reason why. Because our tactics are crap. Crap. We are playing like we're playing Chile or Peru or one of them side there. Like, no, we can't play that way. We have to set up a certain way. Big up David J. Hope all is well. How can we be a CONCACAF nation and hire a coach who can't travel to USA? It don't make no sense, Chile. None. Respect David. Is that a small number in the game of football? 7 is not a small number in the game of football. The Lauren drop-off is real. I know if it was done coaching, we probably wouldn't last a lot of these games. Even if we did, we wouldn't be here saying, John O'Star, how will I pick up them score line here? That wouldn't happen. And we know that because we're seeing evidence of it at the highest level. All right, so the first thing I want to point out, people, is the ridiculousness of our setup when we're pressing them, okay? Or, well, I don't know if you could call that pressing what we're doing, but when they had the ball in their defensive third, and they're playing out, typically Lucy Bronze would get high and wide, right? Either that or she would invert sometimes, but typically she was high and wide. Beth Mead would take up somewhat of an inside forward position, right? Russo constantly running the channel. Sometimes she would even run in behind here if she had to, but she was typically somewhere in this general vicinity right here. So I'll just place her, a little bit shaded to the right for now. Now, Ella Toon, very, very intelligent player. This girl just found every half space. Wherever the half space was, that's where she was. So we were in this 4-4-2 shape, which meant Adam Alokin was responsible for one center back. McKenna would be responsible for the other. Kiera Walsh, who to me is one of the reasons why I think this England team is better now than it was even when they won the Euros the last time. She has improved a lot, and her ability to find whatever pocket of space is given to her is incredible. Now, how England was killing us was Toon and Stanway. Whichever way we drew our two players. So let's say Williamson got the ball to Walsh. McKenna, who is kind of in between these two, goes to Walsh. Now it goes here. Now, what they would do amazing is Kiki typically, let's say Kiki gets sucked into this type of area. Obviously, the easy outlet to Jess Carter with a whole heap of space in front of her. Now, Primus and Ingleton too often were just in some kind of no woman's land, just covering an area, right? Simmons would be up on Brands, but also because the intelligence of Stanway and Toon to occupy an area that either forces Simmons to come central, which then leaves Brands as the outlet, right? Simmons stays disciplined over here. If Ingleton gets sucked into this type of area here, what happens to Primus on this side? Hemp typically was keeping the width on this side, so Cameron was occupied, which was leaving a big old gap right here, so, right? So you're asking me, okay, Jay, you're just showing us all the things that England did to play around us. But this is why it was so easy to happen. It's a numbers game, people. If we stay in this 4-4-2 shape, when these players, Toon and Stanway, make up the extra bodies in midfield to help Walsh to play out, right? Because a lot of times this was the shape that they were in. Something similar to this. 2 triangles formed with Walsh as the middle of the, or the top of the triangle, heading towards the defense line and the midfield. So this combination of these 3 players and these 3 players was killing us. But what I didn't understand was, let's say they got the ball to Stanway, McKenna out the game, Adam Alokin out the game, right? What ended up happening was, even if these 2 players, Ingleton and Primus, as I said, they were typically trying to cover space. But eventually you had to get someone because, you know, Russo would drop into the pocket here. Once this person goes here, so there was always someone in a pocket ready to pounce, ready to occupy that space. Now, the simple fix to this, people, I have no issue with staying in this shape when the ball is in the defensive third. None. Because what this does, at the very least, you know, that back 4 can be man for man. The problem with that now is, if Walsh is intelligent, which she is, what she would end up doing some of the time is just dropping centrally. And Williamson would go a little wider. And now these 2 players who are occupying them 2, if they stay on them, Walsh can just advance with the ball through the middle. The minute that Primus or Ingleton gets sucked up here, now I want you to play the numbers game behind them. And this is what was happening whenever we lost our discipline and a player did decide, man, I'm tired of staying in this space. Let me try to press the ball. They would have immediately, even if Adam Alokin dropped here, there was always a spare. Always a spare. Boom, boom. Bronze is gone. So at every point, the way that they were set up and the intelligence of this player in particular, Walsh, it was causing big problems. Add to that, that Leah Williamson and Alex Greenwood are probably 2 of the best ball-playing centre-backs in the women's game. So pressing them is not really the smartest thing because they're very comfortable under pressure, very, very technical. So for me, just wave the white flag when it comes down to pressing this team. Even if you say, okay, I don't want to do that completely. I want to try to put pressure on these players. You see, the minute the ball gets into like a tune here, we need to be changing our shape, right? We need to be doing something like this. I would be saying to Ingleton, you drop. I want you to be basically almost a 3rd centre back. And that's why I thought Ingleton playing in this game made no sense. Vian Sampson, who came on, easily slots into that role. And that's the shape defensively when we drop back, right? When we go forward, we go into a 4-5-1 instead, or even a 4-4-2 if you want. I would prefer a 4-5-1. But what they didn't do when the ball gets into the middle third, people, is adjust the formation at all. So that's what I meant about taking something away. The way the press was set up, we couldn't really take away that. So, okay, you concede that. You say, we don't have the horses for this course. Let's play more of a mid-block game, right? Which would have meant that the starting point is more here, which would have pushed England further up the pitch. But at the very least, you know what this does? This eliminates some of the space that we're leaving, because England was able to spread the pitch, and we're trying to go win the ball in the defensive third when we don't have the setup to do it. And it's just causing them to get in behind and get more and more chances. So even in this shape, people, how about making this your line of engagement right here? Look at the difference of the shape of the team right here in this posture. Look how much tighter all the spaces are, how much closer Primus is to Ingleton and vice versa. So us spreading the team all the way up into their defensive third to press in that 4-4-2 shape was a suicide mission. And that's why, you know, some people can cuss and say, boy, why are we taking these games and we're getting 7? And people, when I look at tactically what we're doing, we are lending it more to England to give us the 7. Like it's like we didn't acknowledge who we were facing. Like we tried to play them as if we could play them, you know, we didn't really show them respect, which I thought was crazy, right? But anyway, that's what we decided to do. Now, again, what I would have done, people, personally, I don't think this is a game for 2 strikers, right? I thought Sade looked really good playing in midfield. I think she was one of the few positives from that Mexico window, right? What I saw her do in that midfield area of the park, I thought it was quite impressive, right? And in this game now, she's played as a pretty much a supporting striker or a second striker, which was surprising. You know, I thought that a shape of this would have made much more sense for what we had to face. You know, I think a shape like this would have made a lot more sense, right? And, you know, obviously when they have the ball in their third, you can change to a shape like this. But the minute the ball gets into your middle third or into the, you know, this area past these top 2, Adam Alokin would have made sense for her to drop into midfield and just solidify that central area, right? And I'll even take it a step further. This player, I would even drop into here, have this set up like this, and McKenna, when we're defending, everybody here, everybody, because you know they're going to have possession, move the ball. So you guys tell me if you ever saw us in a defensive shape, anything like this. I don't think I did. And that's what we should be defending as. When Russo and Hemp, right, and Carter and Stanway, them a link up, you know, and I overlap and I make moves and everything, we didn't have the coverage. Imagine Ingleton was in midfield. You up here, so. You up here, so. You up here, so. Swaby and Cameron, I try to deal with them. Carter come there as well, right? Ella Toon dropping into the half space. Mead getting into the box, the ball over this side. You know? Primus come up. Ball played there, boom, boom. Look at that, 2-1. And this was going on all the time. 3 players with 2 Jamaicans. You know, like the numbers game, they just figured out how to always have a numerical advantage. And I just didn't see us do enough things tactically to stem that tide. And I know it's kind of difficult to me moving the pieces around to kind of really show, but hopefully you guys get somewhat of an idea of what I was getting at in terms of like, yes, these teams are better than us. It's obvious, but we don't do the things necessary to even have a chance in these games. We don't set up the team tactically enough to stay in these games, and that's a big problem for me, because I think we have other examples in the recent history of this team that we have the capability of stopping even the best teams in the world from scoring. You know what I'm saying? So it can't just be that the players regress and all of this. I don't think it's that alone. I feel like the setup ain't right, you know, and I'm seeing similar types of things to at times what I see with the Reggae Boys, where just a little tweak here and there, and you'd be surprised what it would do. You know, I think with the girls though, the difference from the Reggae Boys from what I see, I don't really think it's a, you know, they don't want to, they're not trying, like they're not running as hard. I do think with some of the Reggae Boys, it does look like an effort sometimes, like they just look like they're not really going as hard as they could. With the girls, I don't really get that sense per se. I don't think it's to the point where they're like, yo, sure, I can't bother you, man. You know, I don't really get that sense, but I think it's something that could happen eventually if some of these tactical things aren't addressed, you know. And I know that it could be a situation where I'm being too harsh on the coach in that maybe some of the principles and things he wanted to instill there is not being carried out. But I would like to think that when something happens with such regularity, right, and you're there in the moment with the team, if you wanted something to change, you have cooling breaks, you have times when you call over players, you have halftime, you know, you don't see those things really change like they should after halftime, let's say, you know. So that's my couple of cents on some of the tactical things and reasons why I say, yeah, we're getting 7 love, but it's not really something that should be happening based on, you know, even with the disparity in the quality, like we could still set out the team better, even with the selection issues like Graham may bring up, even with the coaching issues like can't go to USA, all of those things. I still feel like we're not doing the most we could do to get some results against these better teams. You know what I mean? That's just my take. The allegations against Busby happens in Canada. But if Canada have a charge on you, more than likely you can't travel to USA. JFF needs to be honest. Can he travel to Europe outside England? Question mark. Was Dumane there versus England? If they were there, if they were with Bonnie, 7 wouldn't happen. Okay, so you're equating Dumane being with Haiti why they were able to play England so well. Okay, fair enough. And we never had Bonnie. Head scratching to me as well. Our defensive structure was more disciplined with Lon. Yeah, I mean Lon just was honest about life. The man put a back five out there if he need the extra person, you know. And even if it's not a back five all the time, in the spells of possession where them have the ball, you see him tell one of the midfielder them tuck into that CB area, give it the extra coverage, you know. But we don't see that from this coach. Don't you feel a team bigger than him now, Jamaica coach? Boy, it's the way how he talks, not talks, but the things that I see the team doing. It's hard to argue that the coach, the team, not bigger than him. Like where we had gone before compared to what he's able to do with the team, it's clear that Lauren is a notch above. You know what I'm saying? Also, 7th goal was definitely just the team leaving Leah like Rose left Jack in the water. With the way the coach set us up, Bonnie wouldn't make much of difference to the scoreline. Yeah, I tend to agree a little more with Hot Chili than I had one on that particular take, because if Bonnie was like, let's say Bonnie is McKenna in this setup right here, or even Shade, right? None of what I just mentioned tactically would be different based on how we see the man set it out, you know? England's team have a proper coach. Yeah, Serena has definitely improved England for sure. Even though they have the Euro from last time, I think they're playing better now. Jaja. Yeah, Odello. So all I can say sometimes is Jaja. Intensive camp preparation drills required. The players need to do more positioning to accept passes that have to be fast and accurate. Don't get me started on us playing out. My word. Because at first we were trying, and then I think Allison and Chantel said, yo, forget this. We're just going to try some diags. So look, positives in the game, because we can't just be beating, right? It does say positives and negatives. So positives in the game for me, first and foremost, Leah Brooks. I think she looked a lot more comfortable, even though she conceded 3 more than in the US game. I think in this game, she looked even more comfortable in the box. Decision making off her line, had some good punches and catches. One crucial block as well could have prevented another goal when it was a cross and the defense was beaten. She came out to punch and take out the player as well. Showed good strength and determination there. Had 3 or 4 really top notch saves, and it just lets me wonder like how good can she really be once she really gets to that next level in her career outside of the national team? Because I mean, she's really just been in college at Washington State for 1 year, and didn't really play much. I think she played 1 game, and obviously she's been getting a lot of. I'm sure she plays club ball wherever she play. I'm sure she represents a club, so it's not like she's not playing football, but she's probably playing youth level at this point. I don't think she's playing any like pro stuff. So for her to be able to have this account of herself at this age, at this stage, then I think she obviously has a really bright future, because I would think that people watching that game would say, "Who is this keeper from Jamaica?" Like she's good, you know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, she's literally just finished her first year of college, not getting much game time. So my hope for her is that her college coaches give her the chance this year and really play her and start her in some games so that she can truly, develop. Because right now, Aliyah Morgan, Serena Mensah, Leah Brooks, those are the 3 goalkeepers. And, Morgan tried her best. When we saw her in that Gold Cup qualifiers team where most of the players were at odds with the federation, so they weren't playing. That's where Aliyah Morgan came in. We've seen Mensah play with other teams as well in similar situations where we don't have players. And they're both great servants to the nation, but neither one of them, I would say, gave me that belief that they're gonna go and matriculate to be the goalkeeper that Jamaica really would need in the sticks. Leah Brooks, really and truly, of the 3 of them, is the only one that looks like, okay, physically, just her attributes, she will get to a level at some point, right? The other 2, I think I'm still on the fence about, right? So, but Leah, like I said, that's a definite positive. Another positive for me, while we didn't get to see much of it, Kiki Van Zanten's ability to drive the team forward, just running with the ball. Definitely something that I loved to see. I thought Mimi Van Zanten again, even though I don't think left back is probably her best position, I just feel like she's a gamer and she just plays. So I think the Van Zanten sisters are positives personally. I thought Cameron Simmons grew into the game as well. Was a little bit clumsy in the early parts of the game, but then kind of grew into it. Definitely one that puts in a lot of work and fight. A part of me kind of wants to see, I think she's kind of gone from being a potential forward option to a wing player. And a part of me kind of wants to see if that's just something that has happened due to kind of her collegiate career, her changing positions. I almost want to see her playing forward again. So I'm interested going into this FSU season. I know they recruit like crazy. They're always stacked at forward, but does Cameron get any chances in that forward area in her college team this year? I don't know. Or is she just going to be playing more likely on the wing moving forward? Another positive for me to take from the game was there was one other positive. Hold on 1 second. Boy, roughing up people, they are search for positive, They are search for something positive. Yeah, so okay, yeah. So the other positive for me, people, was we were forced to make a change right before halftime. Alison Swavey had to come off, which wasn't the best thing in the world to happen, honestly. But Naya Cardozo, I thought, did a really good job in terms of just her overall energy level, her performance. It wasn't flawless. She's still only 22, I believe. But yeah, I think she's definitely one. I mean, I was gonna say I've always been saying with her that she's one for the future, but I would venture to say that she's one for the now, because just defensively, I really like the looks of the player defensively. I think she has a very good amount of aggression, got her into trouble a little bit with a very rough tackle. But one thing that I noticed is after she got that yellow card, she was a little more measured in when she tackled. She had one play in particular where she was running back into her own box and didn't really have the best angle, but the way she executed that slide tackle and was able to get her toe on the ball, not make contact with the player's legs at all, I thought that showed, extreme skill and quality. And so for me, moving forward, I know I had mentioned, I don't really love seeing Tiffany Cameron play right back. I think Naya has the speed to play that role, and I think it will help Jamaica have a better balance when we go forward because, Mimi and Tiffany, even though we didn't get the chance to see it yesterday, but not yesterday, but when the game was played on Sunday, we didn't get to see them going up because they never had the ball to advance. When we play these teams in these World Cups, I would more like us to have a stable three and maybe give more freedom to the midfielders and one of the fullbacks. And I think Naya fits that bill perfectly. If she's playing on the right or the left, you can definitely tell her to sit when we're attacking so that we have that balance. If the teams do happen to have a chance to counter attack on us, I think that's just a good way to kind of shore up that space there. And with teams that we face, typically these Central American teams, especially, they're going to crowd that midfield. So, I want to be able to have my deeper line midfielders push up the park to kind of condense that area of the pitch when they're trying to build against us. So that's kind of my reasoning. Have a better balance in the back with the three. One of the two fullbacks kind of sit a little bit. You see Jamaica do it, the men's team at times, where Bell sits a bit more than, say, Lembe Kisa. Something similar needs to happen with Jamaica because right now, I think the balance is a bit off. Even though we didn't really see it much in this game, I thought there were spells in the USA game where we had the ball, we went forward, and we just went forward with too many people. We didn't really have that balance when we lost the ball. So yeah, positives: Leah Brooks, the Van Zanten sisters, Naya Cardoza. Like the looks of all of those players. I don't think it was a game to really say one of the forwards stood out, but I still was impressed with McKenna. I think for whatever reason, our fans just don't rate the player. I guess because she's like the other forward not named Bunny, so it's like we don't really rate her. But her ability to hold up the ball in situations that don't make any sense, I think is underrated. Like sometimes she got the ball 2-3 players and somehow she wriggle out of the two of them and just flick a ball into the midfielder and we got a chance to go forward. Some of those runs and those corners that we got was her getting the ball with 3 people on her, dropping it and then playing it off to someone who could then run into space and get down the wing and whipping a ball that gets cleared out for a corner or something like that. So Kayla McKenna, also a positive for me. I know many might not agree with that, but I think so. Look, the Chantel Swaby, Alison Swaby partnership, like, I don't have any issue with them, particularly when they're defending, right? I think defensively they do their jobs really well. My main issue with the both of them actually is when they're on the ball, they just want more time than they have, both of them. I think Chantel is a little bit more guilty of it than Alison. I think Alison plays with a little more urgency when she has the ball, but Chantel just needs to just pick it up a beat. Just one half tempo, Chantel. Just do just do the thing one beat faster. Just do it a little faster, a little faster, a little faster, a little faster. And yeah, look, it's I think that midfield area is something that was a negative for me. Now the player that I think this coach has really shown a liking to is Naima Ingleton. She's the one player that I think is getting a lot of opportunities in under this coach. That obviously we didn't see the player before, so or I don't remember. Maybe you guys can help me. I don't remember ever playing for Jamaica prior to this coach. But yeah, I think Naima Ingleton, she's a defender. Typically, that's what I see her listed as on every site that I search her on. She did go to West Virginia, so she did play Division 1. I believe she's now out of the team. I think she has. Oh no, she's still. So she was a freshman in 2023. So yeah, she should still be there then. Yeah, so she's a part of the Vancouver Whitecaps FC Girls Elite Super REX program. And as a freshman at West Virginia, she made all those appearances. I mean, she's only what, 20? Actually, she turns 20 in August, so she's very young. She grew up in Canada, I believe. Yes, she grew up in Canada. Both her parents also born in Canada. So I think the grandparents would be the Jamaicans, I believe. Let's see. And she has represented the Canadian women's national team U17 at the CONCACAF qualifiers before. So definitely a good scalp or a good player to bring in, somebody with experience at one of the teams that we're trying to catch up to, So that's pretty big. I mean, she's listed as a defender and a midfielder. So that's good. But yeah, she's still a young one, and I'm watching her play, and it just seems like the level might be a bit past where she is at right now. Look, can't fault her endeavor at all. I mean, you see her trying her hardest to close down people and tackle people and everything, but it's tough. So Naima, it looks like she's with the Whitecaps now. Let me see what her stats are like. She's never played a game. So I think she's in the Whitecaps program, but she's in the elite program, so yeah, I don't think she's still around. I don't know when this would have been. All right, so let me check the roster for the WFC 2. No, that's not what we want. We want the not that roster, people. Academy. Girls Elite Academy. You see Naima with the captain armband. Remember. So, I mean, she's definitely highly touted, but I mean, you can see that the level is a bit much for her, man. I don't know if anybody else sees that, but I see that. So Jamaica can't effectively play tactical, so we don't know how to counter such plays. Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we're doing, it's putting us under more pressure. Atlanta wasn't fully fit enough coming to the England match. Yeah, she was coming off an injury. It was obvious. Even when she was walking off, she was limping. JC, you're right. But once the team is down by 1 in less than 10 minutes, that's the time players become impatient without a good coach. Players start feeling under pressure and move out of line and position. Yeah, that's where coaching and discipline comes in, And next thing we notice, the player them move like them can't hold the ball and just bounce it basic with basic pass. I'd say a few moments, good ball movement, but wasn't constant. Yeah. Gooner, for me, the services was poor. For senior player, I expect better performance from them. Yeah, I think Chantel had a bit too many mistakes on the ball. That Allison was a little bit better, but then she had to come off, so didn't make life easier. But when both Cardoza and Chantel was there, I mean, the sad thing for Chantel, I thought, was you couldn't really tell one apart from the other. And Chantel needs to be stepping up in that situation there. Bless up Dr. Hero. Another observation I've made in Mexico, USA, and England games is the lack of individual ball first touch controlling. So technically not good enough either. Chantel made one glaring mistake, wasn't awful. Yeah, she had a really bad mistake for real. Allison wasn't great and left earlier than planned. Yeah. Does the coaching staff have tablets to view the game? I hope so, David J. Maybe. What is the common denominator with all our teams? The common denominator with all our teams, I would say, is the JFF. Runs all of them. You know, England squad is not a joke team. Their players are individually on point. At club, it would be hard to contain. Absolutely. But we could have done better tactically. I mean, not saying, yep, out of touch federation. Exactly. Bonnie Drew, Spence, and Jody wouldn't make a difference with the scores. We're getting scrutiny towards the coaching needed. Yeah. And that's why I try to not just talk, try to show you some things like visually. And I think if you watch the game and you know ball, you would have seen some of the things I'm talking about. Leah did well. Big up yourself, kid. She made me feel positive, like she's going to be good in the future. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a lot different mindset on Leah after the last couple of games, to be honest. The girls bring in a lot of revenue, so JFF can invest in a solid coach. Let them tell it, them lose money, boss, and the girls, So I don't know. Leave Jack in the water. Ooh, that is a game. Whoever orchestrated the set piece disallowed goal, big up. Gave me hope that we can be much better with a no-nonsense coach. Yeah, it was sad that Kiki couldn't get out of the play faster start. Damn. Leah Brooks' physique and her general performance, very encouraging. Breath of fresh air. Yeah, George Smith. So most people acknowledging and agreeing with my takes on Leah as a positive. Mimi made some errors. Kiki made a glaring error. A positive for me, yes, is we have some nice looking women on the team, not lie. But Odelo, obviously not the point of view that I tend to take, but I mean, reality is reality. That is very true. We do have some beautiful ladies on our team. She can get better though. She can get better. Attempted running dribbles from Van Zanten. Yes, agreed. I like that about it. Naya made an error but corrected as she continued playing. She needs more chemistry with the Swabies. Yes, agree. I think that's the one thing that I noticed in her. She maybe don't have the confidence yet to really communicate. So you see her like just doing a lot of things, instinctually. That's the next step now to say, all right, I'm here, I'm playing, I have to communicate with people. Brother, England, you all don't get it. They embarrass why I think they call it offside. I feel Mr. Speed and Miss Walker to have dinner with Donaldson and ask him back. Conrad Smith, this dinner thing with Speed, I get traction. Everybody want to have dinner with him. They were fully embarrassed. This a lot of goal deflated us. Yeah, we had a very euphoric moment. I mean, the girls were very pleased. I think it was 1-0 at the time. That would have been 1-1. So you never know. The goal deserves a Ballon d'Or. I give her major props. McKenna, yeah. The ref was a hater in a friendly using VAR to take away a goal we all knew England would have won. That was uncalled for. Gotta let the game be interesting. The momentum drop after that call. Yeah, well, no, you can't beat the official them, brother. Remember them, every time those officials go on the field, they're being judged, So UEFA watching them, FIFA watching them, and they want to get the big games in World Cups and all these things. So them can't do anything because them know Jamaica not going to have a chat. They can't do that, brother. I would say beg Donaldson back. We Jamaicans and our ego. Ask him back. They say they didn't want to say beg, but you know that Nago, the dog like that. George Smith said that will never happen. Reggae Girlz program took a serious dive due to those two egos. Particularly Walker Brown. Yes, I know it's sad. We just have to hope and pray. I think the team bigger than this coach though. But the girls playing for us now, they're pretty young. That good for us now and in the future. Ingleton looked out of place in this team. Yeah, we've seen him do it a few times. I think Buckley looks less out of place because she actually looked like she might do something on the field every now and again. But I think she's not ready yet, honestly, for being honest. Amai Bala probably going to go play for one of my brethren them for his school. Damn, what my girl name, man? Forget her name, star. The other young girl that usually get called up from Fraser's with, man. Damn. Can picture her face. What's her name? People help me in the comment section. What's her name? Davia. I couldn't remember Davia name. Yeah, so those girls, and then you have the Jade Mitchell came in, didn't get a chance. Ingleton has come in and gotten chances. And these players are, 18, 19. Jade Mitchell's 18, Ingleton's 19, soon to be 20. Nia Cardozo's like 22, 21. So a lot of these players now, some of them look like, yes, they are ready, and some of them will have a need. I think Ingleton in that midfield, not the answer, I don't think, but I do think that midfield area needs help. But when you factor in Izzy Groves came into the team when we needed players, was one of the few that I think people were saying, okay, she can stay around when the main players come back. She's gone to Ireland, captain her team. That team in Ireland has made the Champions League, so she had a good year. She's not around, and I know she's fit and can play. That's kind of interesting. I thought with the Canadian connection there, because he's called quite a few players that are in that Canadian youth system and setup. With Izzy having that tie to that, I thought she would be around, but no her. I think Spence, Plummer, then who would have been some others. I think Taylor as well, to a lesser extent. It might just still be about paperwork for Taylor, but some of these players he just gave some more time off to, which is kind of surprising because it's not like they had a 2-game window, it's just 1 game. And especially the ones that are based in the UK area, I don't understand why they wouldn't be in this team, because it's not traveling for them like normal. And it's not really that long of a commitment in terms of time. And it shouldn't have interfered with any kind of preseason that you have going on. So, look, maybe the likes of Hale said, listen, as soon as this camp is over, I'm going to preseason. So I'd rather have this week before to just have with my family and friends before I have to go after preseason. I don't know. But it did sound like he stressed the importance of the mental and physical well-being when deciding on what players are coming into the team. You know what I'm saying? Juan Donaldson. I think Mimi is best placed at fullback in this team. I don't know, man. When I saw her play, I know it was inferior opposition, but when I saw her playing in midfield, man, I was impressed, bro. Very, very impressed. What revenue to bring in? They lost their game. The more they win, the better it is for the JFF and the more money they get. JFF is foolish. Why not get the best for the girl team? Carl Donaldson. Yep. Is Ebony Salmon eligible? Played 4 games for England. All were friendlies. Not sure, Not sure. Not sure how the friendlies rules work in the women's game. I would have to do some more research. Let me write that down. Sometimes I forget some good question from the chatting. Ebony Salmon. Eligibility question mark. All right. Might have a link to Ebony Salmon, so it wouldn't be too hard to find that out. Still a little bias when small team, big team. What the difference is notable. Yeah, Davia Richards. I don't know why I couldn't remember her last name or her first name. Recently fired by Chicago. So you never know, he might be available. Wounds can be healed. Yeah, I think he's available. I don't believe, I don't know if he want the job again, to be honest, but I don't think he has a coaching job right now. Yes, J. Cox McPherson as well. I like her a lot. She could be another one that maybe we're thinking is the future, but we might need to damn give her a chance. The girls lose their money. We're doing that after the bag of money they brought in from World Cup and are likely the ones to get back to World Cup. JLM first needs to be in the senior squad. We lack depth at CB. Coach think he can work miracle. Damn stupid going up against big team and not having your best team. Juan Donaldson. The players playing from remote like he coached. We the fan, we're gonna use you to pressure JFF. Let them bring back Juan Donaldson. Well, we saw a petition for a baller, and people saying that that is the reason why the man get in the team. So, you know, do we need to start a petition for the coach to come back? We don't know how much power we have, you know. All right, so we need to know the two girls mentioned to be in training who didn't play. Clara, what's the other young lady? Yeah, so it was Clara and Romani, I think her name is. Well, let me double check and make sure I'm not messing up her name. But yeah, look like two very good, promising prospects. I think one is at Charlton and the other is at Brighton, I believe. Yeah. So let's see. All right, let me show you what I'm looking at, people. On the gram. Zalia Morgan looking stressed. So these are the two players, people, and trust me, this girl in particular, Romani, the one on the right, she seems to have a lot of fans because everybody, Romani, Gaza forever. Geez, Romani Wellington, let's go, Romani. My favorite baller, my favorite hands up at that, me say. Like, look like this girl super popular, bro. Drop a follow, go and follow her career, you know. But yeah, she's you know, there she is. She posts her pic with the Reggae Girlz, you know. You love to see it. There she is in the meeting room, just getting a feel for the atmosphere. Look like she buried her one day. So yeah, she's very, very thankful, it looks like, to be involved, which you love to see. Let me find back that picture again. And then also there was another player, Clara Bella, and Clara Bella also comes from excellent stock because you see the last name, people. Clara Bella looks serious out there, people. Watch that. So she's grateful for the opportunity, you know? You love to see it. And that's Jade Mitchell on the left. She's a Canada Youth product as well. But you love to see it, man. You like to see the integration. You know, they live in that side of the world, so why not let them come and see what they have, what kind of level they're at currently. But yeah, you see one at Brighton, one at Charlton. But you love to see it. The recruitment should never stop, you know. That's not a bad thing, people. You like it. Romani, yeah, man. And Clara Bella. JFF don't care about the girls, so just give us the coach we want. Facts. They would be saving money to pick players in England. I think the egos on both sides, Donaldson and Mr. Speed, them. Yeah, man, all of my family, man. All of my family. Clara Bella. If we go figure out where down the line, you know, where's the link? That link is probably there for real, you know, people. The all them, you know. All right, people. So after we got the 7 Love, there wasn't really a press conference for me to go to. All that I was provided with was some audio clips of the press conference, which clearly would have happened like after the game at the stadium. So let me just where is it at? Here we go. I'm just gonna play this for you guys. All right. if it will play. Star right home. Hold on, people. Hold on, the people. Hold on, the people.
Yeah, I think obviously outside of the result, there's some positive to take away. Another valuable lesson for the players coming through. I think there's performance-wise. I think there's still areas as far as our defensive mindset as it pertains to second balls. That's one of the things that we discussed in our box. We talked about the ability for us to win contact and win the second balls. I think we did a good job winning the first balls, but not a great job winning the second ones. And against top 4 ranked team in the world, obviously you get punished for those things. As mentioned, I think the positives are we've got a lot of young players getting valuable minutes. Another strong performance by Leah Brooks in goal, and then just a lot of players who are stepping up and staking a claim to be in the squad. So I think in terms of transition, we were better at moments. I do think one of the things we wanted to do or improve on was our set plays, and I think those improved. It's unfortunate the goal being disallowed. I think that's a momentum shift and changer in the game, because especially like that, goals change games. And I think upon review, I think it was quite hard to take that away, but such is football. But yeah, overall, just really pleased with a lot of the players, and I think it's towards the end, we could kind of tell that with one team is getting ready to finish off their sort of season, and one team is obviously off to the Euros. And so the last 20-25 minutes was difficult, but again, proud of the players for continuing to finish off the game to the best of their ability. For the team now, I think first and foremost, a lot of these players need a break. Some of them will obviously start again in 2-3 weeks. So and most of the group really will. The squad will be heading back to school, so it kind of shows just how young this group is in this match. So I'm sure we'll take 2 weeks off for those heading back to school and start, and those who will require the requisite time off will do so, and we'll also have a few getting ready to head to preseason time. So as far as the players are concerned, that's probably their program. As far as us as a staff, we'll kind of reevaluate and continue to look at the areas to improve, and obviously look to get ready for the matches in October, where we hope to bring back have a full allotment or selection of players available for the qualifiers in October.
Well, we hope and pray. We hope and pray. That's what we have to hope and pray for, people. We need the allotment of the players, man. We need them. We need them first and foremost.
Yeah, I think it must be said that what an amazing turnout of Jamaican diaspora, Jamaicans just in general coming to the match. Even after the match, they stuck around to applaud the team, and they stuck around to meet the players after the game, and even driving away. They were absolutely fantastic, and so I really can't say enough about the fans and supporters who came out to cheer on that team. So may that continue.
All right, so that was pretty much his comments after the game. Basically emphasizing, had some positives, Leah Brooks, some other youngsters getting some experience. Also mentioned the crucial nature of getting all the players that we need in terms of just the full complement of the players in the pool fit and ready for the October qualifiers. I think that is very, very extremely important. We have seen where, no Hales this window, obviously no Bonnie for any other windows. We had Wilson playing left back. She retires now. This next window, we can't see Drew Spencer. We just haven't been able to have that team, at least the core players that we know if they're in the team, 9 times out of 10, they're going to start. It seems like those are the players who we keep missing in these windows. Apart from the Swaby sisters, who typically start around the back, we haven't really had any kind of we haven't had any continuity with the playing, with the players, So I'm just doing a quick poll to close off the show. I'm just interested to gauge how most of us are feeling. I have a question. How concerned are you about the Reggae Girlz? I have panic mode, bring back Lauren, tweaks needed, but we are okay. And when players return, coach will get it right. All right, so I have 3 options for the poll, people. So I'm just interested to see, like, where you guys think we are. There's about 32 of you in here, so just take part in that poll so we can get an idea. People, I'm not leaving, but I do have to go check something. People, sorry about that. I had to go and sort out something outside real quick. But we're back. We're back. Sorry about that little brief stop. All right, let's see. I believe Taylor Hines thinks playing for Jamaica under this administration will hurt her brand. Oof. If that's what she feels, I can't really argue against that, to be honest. I mean, my hope is that she realizes that other players that represent Jamaica have been able to brand themselves quite well. Becky's in endorsements all the time, Bonnie the same, Drew Spence even I see in photo ops and opportunities and stuff. So, I think you can leverage playing for Jamaica as well. But understand, being a winner probably helps to brand you better than any other thing. So I get that as well. I'm good. JFF not gonna run up my blood pressure. Make them match up the program, gone. Make them match up the program and go on. The man them just match up the team before them ego. Yeah, because of them ego. Had to go with Lauren. I think we need him with these players. Donaldson, well, just tell you straight up, you're not good enough for this level. Yeah, for real. And then the people them vex with him. The girls them will play for Donaldson. Remember, he bring the high level and he can do it against the top opposition. Taylor Hine, yeah, the player that bad. Yeah, man, a big baller, man. I just want people go back and watch that France game where she played, bro. She looked like stressed out in that game. I'm praying Taylor will come. This is where Sedella comes in. She closes the deal. Facts. If Sedella was in the team right now, like helping still, I think Taylor Hines on the team already. I swear. When Sedella was there, it was her team despite JFF. Facts. Because Jamaica no win, man. Bring back Nelson. Yeah, so I think most people are gonna say that, tweaks needed, but we are okay. When players return, we fine. So it's 70% so far to bring back Lauren. I'm gonna let the poll keep running until we close off the show. Looks like BBK Sports was live 38 minutes ago. I'm gonna drop a like over there. I'm still live now. Having panel go on. Yeah, people, if you don't know about BBK Sports, have some good content, typically covering Arsenal and other EPL clubs. Right now is heavy in the transfer window and market, so he's out there putting out that stuff now. Speaking of transfer market, people, I know it's Reggae Girlz Reasoning Time Day, but it'd be remiss of me not to mention this as well. Official today, we kind of knew of this news a few days ago. Knew that it was coming down to the wire with certain clubs, and it seems as if one of the newest reggae boys, Malik Matasil, has secured a move to Stockport County. So let's see. Now, Stockport, of course, has quite a few Jamaican eligible players there. Corey Adai, who we saw represent Jamaica in friendlies before, he is there as their goalkeeper. Ricardo Bibi Gardner's son, got some first team opportunities last year, but really is a member of the U21 setup. He is on this team as well. And then there's another player, Odin, I think his last name is Bailey. He's there as well, and he's Jamaican eligible as well. Don't know if Jamaican ready, but he's eligible. But
which I suppose, from your point of view, must feel like a real show of faith from the club.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate the club, for looking at me as a player that can, change the team and, change results in the league. And yeah, I just want to get down and work hard and, repay the club.
You are County's new record signing. It's an investment which I suppose, from your point of view, must feel like a real show of faith from the club.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so record signing, people. Malik Matasil. I think the record before was like 800 Gs. So I'm assuming that obviously it was more than that. Jamaica International Malik Matasil. So yeah, they are pretty much. I see the Jamaicans that I know in the comment section. I Max it, Drainy Weather, Richard King himself, dropping a fire fresh. God always a show the support. Somebody say AZ striker, winger, or 10. He's neither from what I've seen. Oh Lord. So Luke already fighting out the brother. He don't even play a game yet. Club record fee. E. Fernandez crying his eyes out. So yeah, we love to see it. Matasil, June 2028 contract. I think he has an option for extension after that as well. One that I saw. He was really like Wednesday. Most of the fans are top talent now. All right. People are fool, they're afraid. Just be. I saw that. I was thinking, I was like, what are they talking about? Mother's ill. No, man, Che Gardner, man, the same son. I think him only have a daughter other than that son. I could be wrong, but at least I know those two play football, because the daughter play football as well. Just give Lauren and Beg Sidella too. This is the duo. Uncle who keep it 100 and auntie who mothers. Yeah, good balance. Sadly, that will never happen with these mans. With Coach Hugh Minzy, Busby was the goalkeeper coach. What's his credentials as a TD or head coach? I don't know. I don't know if he has any. He's always been a peripheral guy on every coaching staff, from what I see. So I don't know. I think maybe at the youth level he's been a head coach, but not at the international senior level. He's always been just a part or a member of the staff, from what I remember. Look at that, and people saying he needs experience. That makes sense. Hines is a defender, but she run up and down like Kiki. She'll be with the Swabies, Naya. Isn't Che like 3? Damn, last time I saw it was little. I feel old. Yeah, man. Che is like 17 or 18, maybe now. He's young, man. In time, you're gonna shut all his hater up. Yeah, I think it's amazing how different the narrative is even after one little appearance in Unity Cup. And if I'm being honest, it's not like he tore the world a light in that Unity Cup performance, but I think people are just realizing, like, okay, just based on what they're hearing from people and how they talk about the player, how so many teams are after him. He's already secured his move. Like, clearly, he's a player that people are looking at. And some people in this football space that cover the football for Jamaica, they have been telling you. And I think what ends up happening sometimes is people are just, it's difficult for them to take anything until they kind of, they're not gonna be willing to put themselves out there on a limb and say, yes, this player will be something. There very few people are willing to do that. But it's just crazy how everything has switched up now. Everybody making videos about Mothersill, so it is what it is. I've been saying we the fans that need to see the football in Jamaica get better need to find a way to get these people out, because I think it's going to get worse if something doesn't change. Yeah, I agree with that as well. But people, we are at the 2-hour mark. It was my pleasure to bring you this program about the Reggae Girlz today. Did some tactical analysis and some breakdowns, talked about the team, where we think they are. We have more questions than answers right now, but we try to find some positives amongst the negatives that I pointed out. And I thought we had a nice reasoning today. Good episode. I saw we got to our original like target of 50 likes. We're right now on 59 people. You guys let this video continue to have a strength and drop the likes on the video on your way out if you haven't already. I will be back, I think, later on today. I know that there is the Euro starting up. It's Finland, Iceland taking place right now. It's 0-0 in first half injury time. Switzerland, Norway, that should be a good one coming up at 3. After that, the host nation starts their run at the tournament. Then tonight, people, of course, we have the CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals. USA taking on Guatemala at 7. I will not be doing that one, but what I will do, people, is the Mexico versus Honduras game at 10. So I'll be here for that Mexico-Honduras game for sure. I'll just probably watch that Guatemala game and chill. So I'll probably come on a little bit before the game start up so that we can have a little pre-game, and I'll be back to give you guys some live match watch-along content. Hopefully that game with Mexico and Honduras can be anywhere close to what we had with the last live I did, which was the Al Hilal versus Man City match. That was an incredible one. So people, look out for that later. I'll build the thumbnail. I should have had it built now, so I could have dropped some likes, but people, I'm slacking a little bit on the thumbnail. So yeah, you'll see me later doing some more content. It will be a live watch along. I'm gonna do the second semi-final of the Gold Cup. I think JD did say that he might do the USA one. So if you guys are looking for somewhere to have a watch along for that one, definitely check in with We Max It or I Max It Football. I believe he's thinking about doing that USA game on his channel. I'm gonna do that Mexico game, which is gonna be 10 o'clock my time. So we'll be out here late night doing a thing. All right, people. I revived with some news. Says Reggae Girl Rihanna Blade signed for WSL2 side Sunderland. So I think Rihanna last season, if I'm not mistaken, I know at first she was at Brighton, then she moved on to Burnley. Yeah, see the news right here on Yahoo Sports. Lady Black Cats announced the news via a post on their official club website this afternoon. 19-year-old winger joined Sunderland after leaving Burnley. And they were in the Women's National League. So this is a good move for her in terms of the level. My fear with her is that she doesn't get as much opportunities, because one of the things I liked about her being at Burnley was that she was getting a lot more game time. So hopefully she can continue to get games. This will be a championship team, which is a little bit higher league than what she was in last year. Keep forgetting that this girl is only 19 still, people. So a lot of growth in her game to come. Obviously, great pedigree, went through the Chelsea Academy, spent a season with Brighton as well. So yeah, she's definitely one for the future. And honestly, if she would get some opportunities, I think she could be for the now as well. But yeah, thanks for that, Irie Vibes. That is news that just came in yesterday. Chantel is also a striker, and we don't use her up front any. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yo, Wagwan BM. You reach when the show are done, my boss. Big up yourself same way. Until next time, the talk say League One is like JPL. I don't know where they get that from. Well, brother, them have to come up with ways, so that, people that, yeah, because I hear there's no levels and League One and JPL is similar, and I hear a lot of things, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, some good games today, man. USA, Guatemala at 7, and then Mexico, Honduras at 10. CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals. I will be here for the 10 o'clock game. We're going to be covering Mexico and Honduras. I might even pull out the Mexico jersey we might have, but I doubt it still. I'll just be a neutral tonight and watch that one. Bring you some live content. I love doing the live matches because, tactically can talk about things in real time, and also just learn players, learn teams. You never know when you're going to Honduras, Mexico. So you just like to watch and see what they do in real time in certain situations, because it will help me when I'm doing my tactical previews and breakdowns to know the teams, So I just love to watch the football teams, especially those that face teams that I know I cover, right? So that's why we're going to make sure that we do some Gold Cup tonight. Definitely at some point in this Euro, if it makes sense, for sure, I want to do some Euro women's content as well. I think tomorrow is Belgium, Italy, and Spain, Portugal. So that Spain, Portugal 3 o'clock game, potentially I might run out and do it, because Portugal is a team on the rise, and obviously Spain is Spain. So I might want to do that one just to see what's going on. And then Wales, Netherlands, that's on the 5th. France, England on the 5th as well. Ooh, I'm going to be busy this weekend though, 4th of July. So yeah, so Spain, Portugal potentially tomorrow, people. And I'll have some more time in the evening as well. So maybe I'll do some Reggae Boys content in the evening, because a lot of moving parts with the players right now. Of course, I mentioned Malik because it's so fresh. Many others as well to talk about rumors wise, where they're going to land. A lot of our players in between club, out of contract. So yeah, we're just going to be doing some checks and bring some news to you guys tomorrow on that. But look out for live football, reasoning time episodes, Reggae Boys recaps, Reggae Girlz recaps, youth setup. Yeah, man, Jason Gooner just going to continue putting in the work. I'm seeing that people out there respecting the work we're putting in, subscriber base growing. I'm only now about 33 away from 2K subscribers. So quick and fast, people. Definitely in a week or so, would love to get that 2,000 subscribers so that we can keep on setting new milestones for the channel. All right, people. But listen, you guys know the drill. At the end of this content on this channel, you'll hear these words. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And because it was your show today, ladies, come on, you Reggae Girlz.